Hi foodie friends, today we are making vanilla egg custard. One of the biggest questions I get is what's the difference between egg custard and pudding? Because they are pretty similar. Pudding is dairy just thickened with cornstarch. Egg custard is the same thing, but with egg yolks, which gives it a really thick, creamy, and decadent texture and also flavor. So let's get started. It looks intimidating, but it's super easy. Let me show you how. First, we're gonna take 2 cups of whole milk. Make sure it is whole milk. You need all of the fats to make this into that creamy, rich custard that you are looking for. We are going to be scalding the milk here, which means that we're not bringing it to a full boil. We just want it on a low simmer. Next, we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Use a really good quality of vanilla extract here because you really want to get maximum flavor since that's where the majority of the flavor is coming from. When you're scalding milk, just let it simmer. Do not let it boil. We're trying to kill out all the whey proteins and also evaporate out the water. But if it gets too hot, it'll boil up and over and then you won't have any milk at all. So keep it on a medium to low heat while you're doing this. Stir it real quick, and while the milk scalds, we're gonna make our egg mixture. We're gonna start by putting together all of the dry ingredients, which is a little pinch of salt, because salt accentuates anything sweet. You know me and how much I love salt. 1/4 cup of cornstarch. This is our thickening agent. Whew, little cornstarch bomb going on, huh? And 2/3 cup sugar. We're still a little powdery. I'm gonna put this on really low just to mix it together, make sure it's fully incorporated. After all of that's whisked together a little bit, add your egg yolks. We're gonna use 4 large egg yolks. A lot of people get nervous about using raw eggs. The truth is, many eggs these days are pasteurized, so they're perfectly fine. But we're also going to heat this up a little bit more after we put it all together, so they're gonna cook. Turn it back on. We're gonna wait for this to get pale yellow and all blend together. It'll still be a little bit grainy from the sugar, but that's fine. It's gonna have time to dissolve when we temper in our milk mixture. Our eggs are nice and whisked. They're a little pale yellow, and this is the tricky part. We are gonna temper in our milk mixture to the egg yolk mixture. And this is where it gets a little scary, because we don't wanna make scrambled eggs with our hot milk, do we? We are going to turn this on to a really low speed. And while we do that, we are going to slowly pour in the milk. Super slow, nice fine stream. Gonna give it a minute to mix. Avoid putting it on too high because you don't want it to get too super frothy and have a ton of bubbles. A few are okay. Those are gonna boil out when we put it back on the heat. Take your mixture and put it back into the saucepan. Put your custard back over medium heat and whisk it continuously. It's gonna take about 3 to 5 minutes and you're gonna feel it start to thicken. You'll feel some resistance on your whisk, and that means that it's perfectly fine and then it's time to take it off the heat. Stir it until you've got a good bit of resistance, and it happens fast, so be careful, keep an eye on it. Take it off the heat and add in 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter. Or, if you wanna get really crazy, bourbon. I know, boozy custard. We're just gonna do butter today, but bourbon might be tomorrow. This makes it really pretty glossy and gives it a rich texture that a lot of puddings just don't have. This is also a point where you can add in other flavors if you want to. Nutmeg, cinnamon, even cocoa powder, although I'd probably add that with the cornstarch, and even pumpkin pie spice are all good options. Most of the time, custard is served chilled, but you can also eat it warm. This is a really good custard. It's pretty thick, as you can see. Spoon it into small ramekins. I like these when I'm serving single desserts, or you can even just put it into a large bowl and spoon it out later, whatever works for you. So this is my tip that I'm going to share with you. When you're making custard or pudding, it works for both, use saran wrap, plastic wrap, and when you go to put it in the fridge to chill, take the plastic wrap and tap it down into the top of the custard. This prevents that funky little film that sometimes develop on the top from even happening. They'll be perfect, filmless custards after they're chilled. So you can either eat it warm now or you can chill them. Little cups are gonna take about 2 to 3 hours, but if you have it in a large bowl, it may take 5 to 6. Custard can be made up to 2 days ahead of time and be perfectly fine. You can use it in cakes, you can use it on cupcakes, you can use it as a filling, on pancakes, on waffles, and just eat it plain. It's totally up to you. So get chillin'. So now we're to the point where we are going to garnish these bad boys, and I've just chosen some fresh berries because you really don't need much for good custard. That's all you got, and you've got perfect custard. Let's see what it tastes like. It is so smooth and creamy. You can really taste the vanilla, and you'll also get the hint of egg, which makes it so much better and decadent than pudding, at least in my book. From my kitchen to yours, have a great day.